Thank you, Chair. For the purposes of this presentation, I'm not going to try to direct you in and out of a core bundle, because the core bundle was not drawn up with this presentation in mind. So we will flight the relevant passages, and we we'll flight them also to your laptops. There are some details where we won't be able to flight them publicly because, I mean, in particular, I have to refer to the officer who wasn't named earlier and whose name appears on one of the chats to which I want to refer quite soon, and so that won't be displayed publicly. But the first topic which I'd want to raise is the relationship between General Carne and the late Mr. Viandre Ptorius. And Chair, you'll recall that we heard testimony from the late witness D that Mr. Ptorius was part of a gang that was essentially a criminal theft and extortion gang comprising several members of the EMPD. And in particular, witness D testified that Mr. Ptorius was part of the group responsible for torturing Mr. Emmanuel Mbense to death during one of the operations of this gang, and then suggested that they should call General Carne to fix it when they were debating what to do with the body of the man they had just killed. Now, if we go to page 1894, we see that General Carne, in a chat with another person who is, posts a happy birthday picture of himself next to a man who is in fact Mr. Ptorius. And we've identified Mr. Ptorius independently, but that in fact is confirmed by General Carne himself, because after some questions from his counterparty in this chat, which take a while to decode because they are full of, there's a big typo in the middle of them. The counterparty writes his che, and what he wants to say is who's that? He follows that with that, and if you go over the page to 1895, General Carne responds Viandre. And the counterparty says, okay, cool, his birthday, and General Carne says, mine, bro. So, certainly by January 2021, Mr. Ptorius and General Carne were on birthday card greeting terms. Later that month, if we go to 3428, and here we may not want to display it publicly because this is the chat with the officer who was responsible for counterintelligence against the journalist Marianne Tam, and whose name we have not yet mentioned. If we go to the footer, page 3428, I don't know, Commissioners, if you see 3428, if you can get to 3428. In fact, we can display a redacted copy, which won't be a problem. On 14 January, at message time 14:33, The officer says, "Hi, General, with your permission, I'm issuing Viandre with a permit, just letting you know." We won't then display the next message, where the General says, "Hi, so-and-so, no problem." And then over the page, the officer says, "We need team players on our side." The processes involving Mr. Ptorius next appear on the 10th.
Just to say, we should be careful. I'm just looking at the picture that was shown there. We should warn sensitive viewers that something like that is going to appear on screen. Because I thought the focus was more on the text than the picture. Or am I mistaken?
I was also focusing on the text, not the picture, so I missed it.
Oh, sorry, your mic.
I was focusing on the text, not the picture, so I didn't even, but I will pay more attention to pictures.
Thank you.
A different issue, where you're reading for us and you're not projecting, do Mr. Valley's team have copies of what you're referring to? Do they know, even if it's redacted? Because it might be sufficient for us to have you read, but for them to want to see what it is you're referring.
I understand Mr. Valley's team to have all of our, the full set of chats to which I'm referring.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. If we identify we don't have one, I'll be sure to interject. Thank you very much.
Then the next reference to Mr. Ptorius is on the 10th of May of 2021, and it's at page 5837. It's in the chats between Mr. Sayed and General Khan, and it is a video that Mr. Sayed sends to Mr. Khan, which we'll display, because it's a video that he sends of Mr. Ptorius next to an unmarked car with blue lights.
Say this is sent by
Mr. Sayed.
to General Khan.
To General Khan.
Thank you.
And General Khan's response is he's looking sharp in the next chat. It's okay, the one with the line. A few days later, Mr. Sayed sends two more videos of Mr. Ptorius with blue lights. That's on the 15th of May at page 5873. It's the media files at 10:01:44 message time. Volume, we'll need volume for this. We don't seem to have volume, but I know from my experience of that video, it comes with sound as well, the sound one expects in a vehicle with a blue light. There will be other videos where we need volume. And the second video that is sent And Mr. Sayed follows up those two videos at the top of 5874 with a message to General Khan, "That's how we roll, boys in blue." And General Khan responds, "Too good, bro." Now, the chats suggest that General Khan arranged for Mr. Ptorius to work for Mr. Sayed, where he would conduct raids on the competitors of Carne Links in the illegal tobacco industry. And we infer that from a chat on the 21st of June, 2021 at page 6005. And there at message time 7:18 a.m., Mr. Sayed says to General Khan, "Brew, won't Shaheen get upset that W," and W is a reference to Viandre, "is resigning? Will you please handle it for me when the time comes and tell him that you placed him by me for other reasons?" And General Khan responds, "I discussed it with Viandre, we have a plan."
Do we know, or will it become apparent, who is Shaheen in this scheme, if it matters at all?
We think we know. It will become, certainly before this commission ends, we will have established with certainty. Now, what Mr. Ptorius was doing with Mr. Sayed is illustrated by a series of chats from 6038. And there at the top of the page, General Khan messages Mr. Sayed, Slam's brother, "Viandre has a lead on a big cigarette bust on the East Rand. Maybe give him a call." And I just want to pause there so that we can contextualize what we're looking at. We're looking at a crime intelligence general calling an executive in the tobacco industry, saying that someone who they both know has a lead on a cigarette bust on the East Rand, and so the tobacco industry executive should give him a call. And it requires some explanation, because one would imagine that if a bust is taking place in an industry, one doesn't notify players in the industry, even if they're competitors, while that bust is taking place. It's something for the police to do, not for the industry to be told about.
Mr. Chaskalson, when you started on this topic, you said that officer, whose name we will not mention, was discussing with General Khan the issuing of a card or a document to Mr. Ptorius. Is that card or document issued in terms of the law, or does it reflect that he's a law enforcement officer? What does it show exactly?
We do not know. We have not seen. That's a question we'd like to ask both of those officers, or both General Khan and that officer. What is that permit? He refers to it as a permit. We don't know what it is. But yes, I mean, it's a document that would purport to permit him to do certain things. Whether it was lawfully issued and what it purports to permit him to do, we do not know. Then there are a series of voice notes that are sent by Mr. Sayed to General Khan, some of which are forwarded voice notes that Mr. Ptorius has sent to Mr. Sayed, and we'll play them through one by one. So starting with the first one. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. succession. Sorry. Yeah.
Next page. Salam's Jen. No, he sent me a message also. He sent me a voice.
So that's Mr. Sayed telling General Khan that Mr. Ptorius has sent him a message too. He's on his way to a place in Benoni for the bust, and Mr. Sayed has told Mr. Ptorius that he will dispatch the boys. So there are some boys who Mr. Sayed controls who apparently are going to be part of this bust as well. Whether they are police or private agents of Mr. Sayed or Carne Links, we do not know.
Truck just arrived now. Fuck, the truck arrived. They're busy offloading the cigarettes now in Benoni. I'm rushing there. I'm going to quickly pick up the informant to show me the place.
That's a message that Mr. Ptorius has sent to Mr. Sayed, and he has now forwarded it to General Khan.
Listen, must I send the boys there to Benoni as well? I can send them as well to Benoni.
And that we understand to be Mr. Sayed. We may be wrong saying that he can send the boys to Benoni.
Okay, let me just pick up the informant quickly and ID the place. I've just spoke to Colonel Singh now as well. He's with the general. We're quickly going to arrange people so we can eat there, because you know if it's in a warehouse, there's going to be a lot of cops involved there. So I want the big brass to be there so they can assist us and take over the scene.
So that again is Mr. Ptorius saying he has spoken to a Colonel Singh who is with General Khan, and he wants General Khan to be there because he wants Big Brass there to be able to take over the scene. Then there is a message just okay from Mr. Sayed to General Khan, and then a series of further messages that he forwards from Mr. Ptorius to General Khan.
Let's hit them hard. Let's hit them hard. I'm rushing to pick up the informant quickly so he can show me the place. We're going to moor them hard today.
That message speaks for itself. It's Mr. Ptorius.
But you must come there. And you must try for the general also to come out.
So he wants both Mr. Sayed and General Khan to come.
But you must come there. And you must try for the general also to come out. Hey, arrange with the general, then you come here, man. Hey, arrange with the general, then you come here, man.
Arrange with the general so that you can come there. There's then a call from Mr. Sayed to General Khan. Those earlier messages are at 11:23. At 11:24, there's a call that isn't answered. And then from 11:50, there are a series of photographs of people lying on the ground, presumably having been arrested or apprehended, and of a truck, which we see at 6043 that has boxes in it, and at the foot of 6048, we see some cigarette packets, which we can infer were found in the boxes.
You stopped the flight.
I'm not sure, I mean, do we need a disclaimer here? I mean, these are people lying on the ground. They don't appear to have been shot.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
And if we can just scroll through those pictures.
Mr. Chaskasin, you said there are boxes of cigarettes. Where do we see that?
I saw some boxes of cigarettes on the ground at a certain, not many. I'm inferring that the boxes, well, if one goes, for instance, to the top of 6055, one sees an open box with sort of blue-colored stuff, blue-colored boxes inside it. And then if we go higher, one sees at the foot of 6048. And if we can zoom in on that, I think that those would be examples of the contraband cigarettes that were allegedly found at the scene. If you look at that together with the open box at 6055, but the suggestion certainly is that these boxes are all, and at 6061 as well, are boxes of cigarettes. There are later voice notes which I haven't actually prepared as media files.
For the record, maybe I should say they do not look branded, the boxes.
I think that they may be branded. I think that they may be branded. If we zoom in on the boxes on the ground, I think we might see some branding.
Mr. Chaskalson, I think Chair is referring to the big boxes.
The big boxes, the cardboard boxes.
The cardboard boxes.
They certainly are not branded.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, what was on the floor, I think are obviously cigarette packs, at least.
I seem to remember media files where Mr. Ptorius actually says there are cigarettes underneath packets of sweets and bananas.
You can always come back to it if it's important to it.
So the one on 6048, those are packs of cigarettes.
Yes, inside the cardboard boxes would be the cigarettes, and they would be covered on the truck. So if, for instance, we look at the back of the truck on page 6046, we see a whole lot of plastic bags of sweets, and behind them the cigarettes.
At least the one cardboard box that is open, you can see that what is inside those cardboard boxes looks like the cigarette packs that are on the floor on page 6048.
Indeed. What I didn't do is download, it's a video file where he's describing what's taking place, and but we can arrange for that briefly to be shown tomorrow. But what I do want to draw attention to is the response of General Carne at 6069, where he says to Mr. Sayed, "Great work, brother." And again, this is something that I think we need to step back at and consider. What we have is a crime intelligence officer whose job it is to police the illicit tobacco market, who is complementing a player in the tobacco market for essentially doing the work of crime intelligence in relation to a competitor of his. And it looks very much like what is going on here is that the crime intelligence resources are being used to enable Carne Links to take out a competitor or to raid a competitor in the name of the law. That inference that we draw is reinforced by a number of exchanges between Mr. Sayed and Carne Links, where if we go to page 5966,
sorry, perhaps we should have read the text below the one that says great work or something. That's where Mr. Sayed is saying all thanks to you, basically.
Indeed. No, my brew, Jazakallah to you.
Yes,
Thanks to you.
Yes.
And then we have a series of exchanges between Mr. Sayed and Mr. Carne, where Mr. Sayed is General Carne, where Mr. Sayed is essentially asking General Carne to target a competitor of his called Pro-Tobacco. It starts at 5966. At the foot of 5966 on the 11th of June 2021, where Mr. Sayed says, Pro-Tobacco, factories in Old Union Cotton Mills Factory, East London, they'll know, can't get it wrong. Over the page, please brew, they're manufacturing cigarettes, Pacific, Pegasus. I need to F them out of sight. And General Carne says, okay, bro. At 6185, a month and a bit later, Mr. Sayed sends to General Carne a SAPS tweet recording a successful raid at the Pro-Tobacco factory. And he says underneath that on 6186, this is the same effer in East London, Pro-Tobacco, that's busy with S ... there. Govinder's guys must seize it. And at 6190, Mr. Sayed sends to General Carne a tweet from issued by SAPS, which describes a raid on Pro-Tobacco. Not only does he forward the tweet, but he also forwards what looks like an extract of a SAPS register of what has been seized. Because if we see the next chat, also on 23rd of July, 126.13, and we zoom in there, what it shows is particulars of goods, of the goods detained. And it says 152 times 200 kilogram boxes of raw tobacco, 1127 times 200 kilograms of cut rag. And he says underneath, pro tobacco, all seized. Seems these people are doing funnies via a bond store. This is all Mr. Sayed, and he says next week they're going to pounce on the bond store. So he's been given advance notice that SAPS is going to raid Protobac's bond store where they are doing something in relation to excise tax. And he then complains that there is a discrepancy between what is reflected as having been seized and the output of that, because he says after next week they're going to pounce on the bond store. He says the cut rag is imported from Zim as raw lamina at 200 kilograms, but this is contradictory, because cut rag, one can fill 100 to 110 kilograms per box. I'll keep you in the loop. And then underneath, Protobac is looking at under entries and penalties of 120 bar. He's saying they're going to be fined 120 million rands for tax evasion or excise tax evasion. Protobac is not the only competitor who is being targeted in these chats between Mr. Sayed and General Khan. There is another competitor, Gold Leaf Tobacco, whose primary brand is Remington Gold. And we see several chats where Mr. Sayed and General Khan exchange information about raids on Gold Leaf and the seizure of Remington. So if we go to page 451, there on the 20th of April 2021, General Khan forwards to Mr. Sayed a SAPS report on a Customs and Excise Act, Tobacco Control Products Act operation, which is against Remington Gold. And we see Remington Gold mentioned at page 452, where the operations, the SAPS Parys conducted operations on 1 JJ wholesalers, 2 Delight wholesalers, and the goods seized in Parys SAP 13, in the SAP 13 register, 110 times carton Remington Gold. 50 times cartons, that says Pegasus, I think it's Pegasus, and if you recall from Protobac, one of the Protobac brands was Pegasus. Mr. Sayed's response is brilliant, brew. General Khan says, did Green tell you? And so General Khan expects that someone called Green would already have briefed Mr. Sayed on this raid on one of his competitors, or involving his competitors' brands. And Mr. Sayed said, he did mention to me, but not in this detail. We see another operation targeting Remington on the 11th of June 2021, that's at 5969. And there Mr. Sayed says, Slam, do you have anyone at Komatipoort, the border between South Africa and Mozambique, that can check if they intercepted the truck for us, if they intercepted the truck for us? So the executive from Carne Links wants to know from SAPS if they have intercepted a truck for us. Let me ask, the one I sent to Hogg was intercepted in Bela Bela, waiting for feedback. Coffee Fontaine, it's positive, they're busy now. The other truck was caught other side of the border over the page. Bela Bela truck cannot get through to people on scene. We flagged about 15 trucks of GL, that's gold leaf, the Remington company, and now it's paying off. What was on? There's a Y, and then the answer comes Remington Gold. How many cases? Truckload. Now, while this is taking place, we see a parallel set of chats where, although Mr. Sayed is very enthusiastic about raids on competitors, he is particularly unenthusiastic about general attempts to crack down on the illicit tobacco industry, and in particular about the activities of Mr. Yusuf Abramji, who was at the time running a campaign against illegal tobacco.
But before you go to those, these which we just looked at, this is Mr. Syed and who?
Mr. Syed is communicating with General
Your mic is off.
General Khan. The chats are between Mr. Syed and General Khan, where there may well be chats that are forwarded from chats that somebody else has sent to Mr. Sayed and that he's forwarding to General Khan, but the third party we can't identify because we don't have Mr. Sayed's chats, we only have General Khan's chats.
Okay, so what we looked at, what you showed us now in that screen, is a series, all of them from Mr. Syed. Where do we see that they are going to General Khan?
Oh, because these chats are taken from General Khan's phone.
They were received from his phone.
So
that's
there
how
are
we know.
chats,
Okay.
so anything in white on these chats is chats that the sender sends to General Khan.
Yes.
Anything in green is what General Khan sends to the sender.
You've answered me, thank you. Thanks, Mr.
If we go to 6107, there we see that on the 7th of July, 2021, Mr. Sayed forwards to General Khan a post from Mr. Abramji, which is taking issue with the scale of tax evasion and tax criminality in the illicit tobacco industry. And it quotes, a post quotes Mr. Abramji, just when South Africa needs every cent available to combat the pandemic and the country is crying out for the enforcement of our laws, criminals are being allowed to loot the nation of billions of rands by making and selling tax-evading cigarettes, warns Yusuf Abramji, founder of the Tax Justice South Africa. We need an immediate inquiry into the industry to investigate how this is being allowed to happen. The new report by market researchers Ipsos, which is published today, reveals 2 in 3 shops in the hotspot provinces of Free State, Gauteng and Western Cape sell illegal cigarettes. Illegal cigarettes are on sale in nearly half, 41% of all shops nationwide. And then there are a whole lot of statistics. And down at 6108, we see a complaint about gold leaf tobacco, which Mr. Sayed wouldn't presumably object to. It says brands belonging to Gold Leaf Tobacco Corporation are winning the illegal price war, with a number of its South African brands purchased below the MCT. That's the minimum collectible tax. I don't know if we've discussed it, but that is the total amount of tax that would be paid on a packet of cigarettes. And what these studies are showing is that cigarettes are retailing at a price which is below the tax that ought to be paid on them. So there has to be tax evasion because it's not even a cost price. It's below a tax, the amounts. The retail price is below the amount of tax that ought to be paid by the retailer. Never mind the retailer's purchase price itself. So this post says that The brands belonging to Gold Leaf are winning the illegal price war, with a number of its South African brands purchased below the MCT rising by 25%. The number of brands belonging to Carne Links bought below MCT has rocketed by a third. And so he's not only pointing a finger at Gold Leaf, he's pointing a finger at Carne Links, saying that the number of your brands that are purchased below the minimum collectible tax, which means they must be involve tax evasion, has rocketed by a third. And then there is a lengthy description of the problems that this causes to the country, and at the bottom of the post one sees hashtag lock them up, and for media queries contact Yusuf Abramji, Yusuf at taxjusticesa.co.za, and a phone number is given. The response of Mr. Sayed to this is to forward to General Khan, who ought to be investigating illegal tobacco, Abramji going to get effed up, bro? General Khan responds back, yes, F him up, bro. He must stay in his lane. So what we have here, and sorry, Mr. Sayed says 100%. What we have here is a general in-crime intelligence whose job it is to investigate the illegal tobacco industry, agreeing with the executive of a company whose brands on a large scale are being sold below the minimum collectible tax rate. In other words, at a price which must involve tax evasion, that the person raising objections to this state of affairs needs to get effed up and must stay in his lane. That, and if we can just pause here, what makes this so pernicious is that these laws, it's not that these laws are not being administered, it's that they are being administered selectively. So what one sees is, in the earlier chats, a series of exchanges between Mr. Sayed, who's the Carne Links executive, and General Khan, enthusiastically applauding raids of illegal tobacco products that belong to competitors, either Protobac or Gold Leaf. But when the finger is pointed at Carne Links, there's, abusive comments about the person pointing the finger and saying, stay in your lane. There is then a second episode of this nature, which we see at the foot of page 6458. And this is now in October 2021, the first set of posts that we saw was in July. It's now 3 months later. And in October 2021, Mr. Abramji is posting about the same issue. And now the numbers have changed. 3 months down the line, 3 months down the line, brands belonging to Carne Links, the chief member of the FITA, I think that's the Free Trade Association of Tobacco, were the most frequently, brackets 62%, found below MCT, minimum collectible tax. Purchases of brands owned or licensed by Afroberg, whose name has been removed from the FITA website in recent weeks, were the second most prevalent, 59% below MCT. The usual suspects are implemented, just as TJSA has found, Tax Justice South Africa has found in its own investigation, said Mr. Abramji. TJSA has been conducting research independently into the illicit trade over recent months and will be releasing our report soon. We hope it serves as a wake-up call to the authorities. South Africa cannot afford this industrial-scale looting to continue a single day longer. And then another post, Tax Justice SA has uncovered breathtaking new details about the crime wave that's sweeping South Africa and robbing honest, hard-working citizens of billions of rand. We'll be releasing our explosive report soon. Hashtag lock them up at SARS Tax, at SAPS, at Abramji, at Ed Kisvetter. Coming soon, explosive new report on the biggest crime wave sweeping South Africa. The response of Mr. Sayed is, this P is asking for it, bro. And General Khan says, we can sort it out easily. Now, that is I've come to the end of that topic about the apparent alliance between General Khan and Carne Links through Mr. Sayed, both in terms of raiding competitors of Carne Links and in terms of resisting, or at least expressing an intention to resist, the campaign of Tax Justice SA to crack down on tax evasion in the illicit tobacco industry.